Hey YouTube, Mark Coffman here, and today I've got a little bit of a different video for you, and that is actually a watch review. Now, this is a Timex Easy Reader, and I'll have the model number in the title there, so if you wanted to pick this up, you can. I paid $28 for this on eBay, brand new, and there is a reason why I've started wearing simple watches like this. Now, just a little bit of my background here. I am actually a watchmaker in Texas, and for me, I have come in contact with many different watches: Omega, Breitling, Tag Heuer, Lucien Piccard, just a ton of different brands that are out there, and many costing in the thousands and in some cases hundreds of thousands. And for me, I do appreciate the craftsmanship there. I have owned many different Breitlings, a few Rolexes in the past, and I've owned a few Omegas as well. But currently I have settled upon Oris and Doxa as my main go-tos. And then as my beat-around watches, I've usually settled either on Seiko or Orient, primarily because their movements are very easy to service. The same goes for Doxa and Oris. They're usually an SW200 caliber or an ETA 2824 caliber. But the reason why I've settled on this watch is because it's not only easy to read, but it is just so simple and you do not have to worry about it. I have a 2-year-old that runs about the house, and to be honest, look, I get it. You know, you don't want to wear your nice watch and bang it up, but to be honest, I don't want her grabbing it and then running with it and then throwing it. So sometimes I let her hold my watches and take a look at them because I think they're interesting, and she does too. But I don't want her to throw them. And she has gotten to the point where if she starts running away from you, she'll kind of ditch whatever's in her hand, and that means whatever watch I've given her goes to the floor. Thankfully, none of that has happened to my expensive watches, but it has happened to this one, and it has done very, very well with taking that beating. And primarily, this is the reason why I've started wearing these simple watches. They're very easy to read. I have no real issues with reading difficult dials or simple dials. I just do like this blue dial, and I have a black one as well. And I just find these to be so easy to read. Has the day and date there, and one of the great things about this watch is that my daughter gets to see what a watch dial looks like. Sometimes the ones I'm wearing are very stylized, and sometimes I want her to be able to tell the time and look at the watch I'm wearing, and I tell her, okay, it's this time, and she knows what it looks like. She may not know what the numbers are, but she knows what 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock might look like on this dial. So for me, that's one of the big reasons. The other big reason is this band. This is a twist of flex style band, and these bands were popularized in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, kind of dropped off in the 70s, and then kind of came back in the late 90s. But these bands use an interlinking metal system here of clips that allows them to stretch and expand to any wrist size. Of course, you want to size it to your wrist, and if you need to get an extra large, Timex does make these an extra large. So for me, that's another great thing, and another reason why I've gone towards this is you can just throw it on your wrist and you are ready to go, and you really don't have to worry about it. And when it comes to a 2-year-old that wants to go outside all the time and she really doesn't understand what waiting is, having something like this is really handy. Now, I get it. This is a $28 watch, basically the cost of a nice dinner out. And you're probably wondering, well, why would you wear this cheap watch if you're a watchmaker and you know what's a great watch? Well, this is essentially a disposable item, but I have been able to repair these. Very rarely am I able, but you do get a lot for your money. And even coming from a watchmaker's standpoint, there's a lot to love here. You get a stainless steel band, stainless steel spring bars. You get a nickel plated brass case, stainless steel back. But one of the great things is you get a decent crystal gasket. You get a relatively thick mineral crystal. You also get a nice I guess, feature. You could call it a feature, and that is this Timex Indiglo. And you're probably wondering what that is, but it's basically you're able to light up the dial at night, and in most cases, more expensive watches have what we call luminescent paint or LumaBright or even BGW9 Lume, and that all is great except it runs out of luminescence rather quickly in the scheme of things. And having this to be able to see at night is actually a nice feature. It was a feature that was introduced by Timex in probably the late to early 90s. I don't have an exact date on when they introduced Indiglo, but it was a big feature, and I'm quite sure there are quite a few people out there that had these types of watches as kids and thought that was the coolest thing in the world. At least for me, when I got my first watch, which was a Timex, we were in Canada and my dad let me choose one, and I chose a Timex because the dial lit up. Now, again, yes, this is a cheap watch, but there's a lot to like here, and I think it's a great offering by Timex that has been around for quite a long time. So if you guys enjoyed this review, let me know in the comments below. I just wanted you guys to see what I've been wearing lately and why I've been choosing Timex. So till the next one, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Until now, lighted watch dials were really hard to see in the dark. But the Indiglo nightlight from Timex is so dramatically brighter. Nighttime will never be the same.